What's lost in the midst of this year's migration crises of as many as 1 million migrants heading for Europe's shores, near 5 times the number for 2014, is the consequences of the real megatrend. That is not just of the war in Syria, but the fact that Africa, both North and South, is undergoing a population explosion that is literally manifesting in an exponential trend, one of more than doubling of Africa's population every 40 years, that looks set to make today's migrant crisis look like a picnic when compared against the several of millions per year that will be arriving on Europe's borders, all within a few short years from now, as the global population graph based on UN data and forecasts illustrates. Whilst the populations of all other continents are in the process of stabilizing or leveling off or even to be in decline by mid-century, however, Africa, which has already quadrupled in population over the past 60 years from 228 million in 1950 to over 1.1 billion today, and again looks set to quadruple by the end of the century to over 4.2 billion. To imagine that such an increase in population of over 30 million per year is not going to encourage mass migration in the millions to Europe from an increasingly overcrowded continent is tantamount to sticking one's head in the sand, which is precisely where a blinkered European Union has firmly stuck its head for the past 2 decades, completely ignorant of the consequences of Africa's ongoing population explosion. For if Europe cannot cope with today's 1 million per annum, then what is going to happen when it's 2 million, 4 million, and eventually 8 million or more, fleeing the chaos of an overpopulated Africa that over 150 years will have gone from a population of 228 million to 4.2 billion, a near 20-fold increase. In 1950, when Africa had a population of 228 million, Europe's population was 550 million, with Asia way ahead on 1.4 billion and the Americas on 340 million, whilst today Africa's population has soared to near 1.2 billion against Europe that is peaking on 740 million, and with the slowing trends for the Americas and Asia that are expected to level off by mid-century. Africa instead is on an exponential curve that shows no signs of leveling off. Instead, the exponential trend for Africa's population is expected to reach a catastrophic 4.2 billion by the end of this century, that in a worst case scenario could trigger waves of mass migrations northwards to Europe of as many as 500 million migrants, where we won't have to wait until 2100 for its catastrophic effects, both economically, culturally and socially, as the likes of Greece and Italy already illustrate, or what is to come Europe-wide within a decade or so. Subscribe to this YouTube channel to find out what this means for Britain's 2017 EU referendum.